This is Sparta.
No, it's not. But it is episode 300 of Digital Iliad. Making an FTL-like in Godot. How's it going, everybody? Starting off right next with the hydrate. Thank you. Hey, Stupid Hawker. Rima's. Ziga, Rhiannon Journey. Obviously, Nyx. How's everyone doing? Happy CCC stream. That's funny. I see what you did there. CCC. Low energy wintertime. Truly, truly. Hey, Nyx, back up to a 15 stream streak. Very nice. How's everyone doing today? Happy Thursday. I went to a game dev meetup yesterday. Someone recognized me. Friend of the channel, the Muse. Walked up to me and was like, "Do you stream on Twitch?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." Pretty great. So hung out with some local devs last night. It was fun. I was definitely in a lift headed home by like 9:30, but it was fun. How's everyone doing? It's happening. You're getting infamous. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it's the second time that's happened. Previously at a meetup, someone was like, "Were you doing like Ludum Dare on stream?" And I was like, "Yeah." That was the Ludum Dare we didn't finish, and they were like, "Yeah, I watched you, and you were in rough shape." It's like, thanks. Yeah, true. But yeah, here we are, episode 300. Yeah. We're entering the 4th century. Crazy. Starting our 4th century of Digital Iliad here. I don't normally celebrate centuries, but it's pretty funny for for 300. You like the thumbnail? Yeah, this is as much as I could do. I looked around for some like meme generator tools to like, not tools, but like meme generator like friendly assets, like a good cutout of like the 300 or like Gerard Butler's face or something like that. And I was just like, you know what? We'll make the numbers red today. That's as much as I could do. I should change the radio. There we go. Yeah, it's neat. Hey, Commander Apollo. Nyx, Dave's turning into a celebrity. I know. It helps me a lot. Game dev meetups are funny because almost everyone there is like an introvert. Obviously not everyone. There are extroverts in game dev. But it's funny to watch a bunch of nerds get together at like a bar. So I like having something. I like starting off with, you know, it's great if someone already knows my work, you know? It's a nice icebreaker. Truly a back-end dev. Why? Because I couldn't make another thumbnail? So funny. Could have been hot pink. It coulda. It coulda. Scotty, you made some art in the stream announcements? Alright, I'll take a look. Oh my god. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thanks, McDuber. Those are some crazy letters. You have a very eclectic collection of thanks Nyx, thanks for the powered up emotes. But yeah, McDuber, you have a very eclectic collection of emotes. I'm impressed. All right, so we're still working on stuff. We changed a bunch of stuff with our inputs. I like just threw away our like command pattern input model. And so we've been have running into some system running, some operation issues where like systems were running out of order and that like mattered now because we're basically all agreeing on a set of inputs to process given the frame, for the given frame, I should say. And it's causing a few issues, but we'll keep working on it. Hey, Sapphire. How are you doing? So yeah, there's a couple. Let's see if I can trigger a couple of them. One of the obvious things is that, yeah, it doesn't count our... Yeah, sometimes it doesn't count our anchor coordinates correctly. Like, it doesn't reset them. It'll reuse the last one. I think that's maybe a processing multiple inputs per frame kind of thing. It's amazing how many problems we just didn't have with the command pattern. Because everything just got... Any input got queued up and we just processed the queue in each system. Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely some weird stuff. Also, the fact that nothing's getting saved is concerning. We'll have to figure that out too. But that's okay. Sometimes you gotta... It's not all progress is linear, right? Hey, Vamuse. How's it going? Good to see ya. Well, good to read ya. Hope the rest of the evening was pleasant. It was a cool scene. It was a cool crowd there. I mentioned a little bit about what I was doing last night. Sapphire, you may be quite busy today. You're low energy. Oh, yeah, no worries. I don't make any demands on your energy levels. Good to read you, 2026. Yeah, it was good. You're about to stream too? All right. Yeah, thank you. I'll keep an eye out if you're still going when I stop, which will be in about maybe like 2.5 hours. All right, so what do I think? I feel like I thought about and realized what I think is happening with the anchor chords thing. But I think we ran out of time to do anything about it. Commander, what are we working on for Lovely Stream 300? You're getting into an internet argument. That's what one does on the internet. Yeah, we changed our whole input model and we're just kind of reworking some stuff to make it appropriate. I know I should have some fun, cool 300 related thing. But I don't. We actually pretty much only celebrate our Power of 2 episodes. So our big celebration is going to be like a year from now, which is going to be episode 512. But yeah, episode 300 seems like a fun episode to at least acknowledge. If nothing else. I don't have anything special planned for it though. Yeah, enjoy your internet argument. Only 212 episodes away from working on the map editor. This is the map editor. Oh no, okay, I get what you mean. You're like... So we've only got 200 something episodes left before we gotta move on. Yeah, it's a shame, really. Hey, howdy neighbor. Hey, what up, Jacob? How's it going? Posture is failing today. You know what I did this week? I got a little trackball, a little thumb trackball mouse. I've been using it at my day job. Kind of nice. It's used, so it's a little rough, but I'm not using it right now. I am back to my regular keyboard. I say regular keyboard, my good and proper keyboard. So hopefully I can actually type today, unlike yesterday, which was a huge struggle. I'm not using my trackball mouse right now, though. Still getting the hang of it, but I like it. What I don't like is how Google Sheets doesn't recognize a middle mouse click as me wanting to switch into scroll mode. Kind of annoying. Chrome does just fine. All right. What were we doing? We're trying to handle the fact that we're not processing everything in the right order. And we're thinking about how to fix that. You can never get used to those mouses? You found them unnatural? I've tried a couple of the trackballs where the trackball is on your index finger. I kind of like this thumb one, though, because I think that's the thing for me is putting a lot more work on my thumb, at least for my left hand, which is the keyboard, the main keyboard hand. That has fixed a lot of my problems with my arm and my wrist and stuff. So I was like, I'm going to try it. Because the thing that gets me about mice, I like to have a pretty high sensitivity. So I end up making a lot of very micro adjustments and my hand gets into kind of weird angles and stuff. But with the trackball mouse, your hand doesn't
Maximum
move.
warp.
Maximum warp, no Jewel. Happy Thursday. Welcome to episode 300. I don't have any more fun 300 quotes. Well, then we shall stream in the shade. That's my last one. Anyone else remember the fact that Faramir is in that movie? Finally a chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his worth. Yeah, okay. So if I'm having a problem with the cursor coordinates not being reset correctly, what I think is happening, I think we're receiving a begin and a continue instruction. I think we're receiving a begin and a continue instruction on the same frame. So we need to kind of do the same thing that we did with the unhandled input, which when we process unhandled input, we need to just store it up for the next frame, essentially. We've got everything on physics process, so everything runs very consistently in the correct order. And we need to just queue it up. So the way I'm going to do that is like this. Oh, shoot, I'm already doing that. Then how is this happening, then? I already fixed that part. Okay. Concern. I mean, not Boromir. Yeah, okay. Oh, hey, Ziga, you missed the beginning of the stream. That's all right. How's it going? Happy Thursday. Yeah, 300. How's it hanging, No Jewel? Rhiannon Journey, the Lenovo track point thing never clicked for you. Is that a pun? I kind of like the Apple thing, which was just like a square little like metal sheet and you could just gesture on it. That was kind of neat. I never had one, but I used one a couple times. Same problem though in my mind. I'm hoping the thumb-based trackball helps my borderline RSI. All right, so how are we gonna handle this? Begin selection equals true. So we run through all this. Permit a selection. If we're beginning an interaction, we handle the begin interaction. Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite know how to foreclose this. Oh, I think I know maybe what's happening. And I think it has to do with our top level task. So we run our C# systems as part of a task. Actually, as part of a number of tasks. Maybe we need one loop that always runs every frame, irrespective of the task. I mean, there's definitely some slow stuff that I was happy to let run over multiple frames, but maybe some of the core stuff needs to be running every frame and can't be part of a task. I would understand if that's the case. Oh, are we also outputting tiles simultaneously? I think I can get rid of this part. Yeah, we're doing this, which is probably not good. Arneo, 300 is a fun movie about fascist propaganda, but it's too late for the conversation. I mean, Sparta is not a nation that should not be held up as an example to anyone. It was a police state that only existed because of its heavy use of relying on the forced labor of its neighbors. So yeah, not great. But if you're looking for social commentary and 300, that's probably not the best place to look. You love the Apple trackpad? Yeah, RSI is no fun. You got to be careful with it. I used to have a way worse time with like regular keyboards. My crazy Primogen keyboard, my Kinesis has helped a lot because it puts so much focus on the thumb for your modifier keys and some other keys. I'm really hoping the thumb-based trackball helps. Nix, fun fact, in Europe, cider is what you call the carbonated alcoholic beverage, aka hard cider. Normal cider to us is just apple juice. Oh, interesting. I think it's context based here. But yeah, in the store it definitely needs to be called hard cider. But if you go to a bar, you just order a cider. Hey, Nanigans. I had a couple of ciders last night. I need to stop drinking ciders. I was talking to Vamuse about it a bit. The sugar content, even when I get a low sugar content cider, I still feel sick after like a few of them. Just not a huge beer drinker. Cider is so good though. There's some I've been able to find that I like that are very dry and have no added sugar. But it's still something I have like one of. All right, so we're thinking about removing the task and running the top level system every frame. So where would we introduce the task? It would not be here. It would also need to not be here. It would probably be within the system groups, maybe. Because, like, the cursor mapping system probably shouldn't run in the system group. Probably run before the system group. But our problem, I don't think our problem is exactly that. Maybe it is. Maybe it is exactly that. Oh, are we currently running the system? All right. Arneo, you keep getting chided for confusing soda and lemonade in English, and you still don't know the difference. Lemonade is not carbonated. Would be my shorthand for it. Yeah, this is concerning. Yeah, you'll notice that, like, I move the cursor around, and sometimes the last anchor point is being reused. So there's some kind of system operation order thing. Ignore this error. This is also a problem, though, and it's probably related to the same thing. Begin, continue, end. Begin, continue, end. Here's interesting. End. Begin, begin. Running begin twice is weird. Shouldn't be able to happen. Begin, begin. I think that's what's happening is it's running the begin twice for some reason. Doesn't make a ton of sense how that would happen. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try getting rid of the task at the top level. And we'll save tasking for like some longer running systems that we know are slow. And we'll let the system groups handle that. So we're not going to handle that at this level. Does the cursor mapping system need to be run, need a ready function? It doesn't have one, but yeah, I'm going to take the cursor mapping system out of the block editor system group because it really shouldn't be part of that. Neither should the tile drawing system, honestly. Let's see how we're going to do this. Lemonade is basically always just lemon juice and sugar. Yeah, true. Copperberg. I can't pronounce that. Copperberg. They have a cider? I'll give it a try. I've never seen that brand. I usually go for like a Mighty Dry. They have one that I'm deeply ashamed of. They did like a collab with the Warriors, which is like our local basketball team. They added vanilla to their apple cider, and it is so offensive. It's shocking how bad it is. Fun fact, the ade, the ADE suffix means the drink is a fruit-flavored drink, like lemonade, cherryade, limeade, orangeade. Oh yeah. We just have Gatorade out here. It's mostly what we talk about. Go Gators. Might be just a European brand. I heard I saw a link that said Copperberg USA, but yeah, it might not be. It might be just imported. They have their own website. Okay, maybe it is just maybe it is just Europe, because look at the front page of Copperberg USA. Had your 20th birthday yet? That is not the legal drinking age in the US. 21. So yeah, maybe it isn't. Maybe there isn't much of a U.S. presence. Gators are a fruit, you guess? Yeah. You would guess. The suffix "ade" originates from the Latin "eta," which is a past participle used for forming nouns. It was reduced to English in the word lemonade, a loanword taken from the French limonade. Yeah, I learned something, which is that most of those long words that you've heard of in English that have like multiple suffixes and prefixes and stuff like that. I can't think of a great example, but these lists exist and you can go look at them. There are all these words that you'd thought would have been like from a proper Latin root or like an old word. And so much of the time, like Milton just made it up or something. There's a ton of words that were just invented by Shakespeare, or Milton did a lot. There's a few other people. All right, so we're going to just run these. We're going to run these not in this order. We're going to run these in this order. I really hope this works. I'd hate to go back to my, like, task-heavy command pattern model, but I see the advantages to doing it, honestly. It solved a lot of problems. Eventually, this top-level state system is going to have more logic. Like, here we'll say if game.peak state is equal to state.edit, game state.edit, or game.state.play. Then we'll run this. Hello? Can I say or? I also say is. All right. I love this natural English. I don't know if this is going to work, but I like being able to say this. I feel like programming languages are getting better at some of the natural language syntax stuff. To just be able to say if this is this or that is so much better than saying is this equivalent to this, or is this same thing equivalent to this? Like, I hate that. I hate having to take up so much space with that. And here we'll say I'm going to do these individually, which is not efficient, but that's what I'm going to do. Just to reduce nesting. Similarly, I guess I could just say, I guess I could just capture it locally, but I don't care. Compiler doesn't care what I do. It has its own opinion. Not gonna worry about it. I know I could do some branching to make that simpler, but I don't care. All right. Time to stumble down the stairs and find some dessert. Hell yeah, Stubenhocker. Star Fox, do a barrel roll. First aid is fruit flavored treat. Good one, Nanigan. Sorry, I didn't see that. A lot of English is from the French, though. The weird thing is, now English is influencing French back, and so a word like superb has gone back around to France to be super. That's funny. Yeah, it's a mess. English is a mess. But yeah, my point was that not a lot of it didn't arise organically like you might think. A lot of these words really were just invented by authors, like somewhere between the, 15th and the 19th centuries. All right, so this does need to be a task. So we're going to get that out of here. We're also going to get this out of here. So this will run. It'll run the sculpting system. The sculpting system should run every frame that it's needed. And then this is where we introduce a task in like the slower systems, like the things like the flood filling system. This we put on a task and run it asynchronously in the background. But I do think a lot of the rest of this needs to just be running every frame, just to keep everything synced. Will that work? Will that help with this problem? Maybe, maybe not. English is just 3 languages in a trench coat. That is a Very funny. I see that you wrote French coat, which is even funnier. Tundra sounds like a German word. You can definitely tell which languages come from the Latin and which are more like Germanic. Like pork. And another word I'm not allowed to say. Well, I'm allowed to say it, but I'm not going to. What, beef? You can say beef. I could say beef. Do we have beef next? Okay. So nothing is totally broken. Did I fix the... Are we going to jump around? Okay, we're not jumping around anymore. The cursor has always been correctly anchored to where we were when we started the maneuver here. Okay, I think we fixed that. There's a little flickering that I feel like we didn't used to have, but... Like, there's flickering when I click down. Like, what the heck is this? What is that? I don't think we used to have that. Like, when I can see the timing. It might actually be impossible to see on stream. Oh, the flicker looks like you can see it on stream. When I click down, it flickers, and when I lift up, it flickers. Wonder what that is. I mean, I'm more concerned about the fact that nothing's getting saved. It's not flickering when I do this, though, when I move stably. So something weird is happening. It's probably the hover function's fault, honestly. I don't know. I'll look into that. All right, we can get rid of some of these debugs, though, wherever they are. I don't know where they are, but we have some printouts that I don't want to look at anymore. I bet they're here. Yep. Hopefully not your picky eater. Am I emptying the GPU buffer? I'm not. I mean, I kind of understand what's happening. It's this. It's this reveal blocks function, I think. Although, no, that doesn't totally make sense. It might be something else. I mean, removing this is going to cause all sorts of horrible things to happen, but I'm still curious. That's neat. Yeah. Oh. Oh, hey. Okay, the block placement is kind of working. That's interesting. All right, so I can't just cavalierly put reveal blocks everywhere at the top of the whole thing. Starship, you're going to head out for a bit? You got a few YouTube videos you're going to go watch while you eat? Nice, nice. Nanigans, you've been slowly switching to using the is/or syntax. Not accustomed to it. The IDE keeps nagging you to change it. Yeah, I like when IDEs do that. I'm not gonna learn about new features like that unless someone kind of hits me over the head with them. So, I think the unfortunate thing is I need to be a little pickier about when we clear the block buffer. don't think I can just do it at the top of the function here. So we can do it at the begin for the select. Do we also do it at the begin for the place? We do not. What about the hover? Okay, we do it at the top of the hover. I think my mistake was to do it at the top of the overall function and not at the top of the hover. So... yeah, I think we can't just do this willy-nilly. So let's see if we move it down. If we move it down into these, which I don't like putting them everywhere, but it might fix that problem. Nanigans, you've been more resistant to switching out loops for link queries and stuff. Reminds you too much of SQL, which does not spark joy. Oh, I ignore every... I think I turned off link recommendations. I should have mentioned that. Yeah, I don't want to use link expressions for link queries, whatever you want to call them. Someone explained to me how they work, and that does not feel performant, however you slice it. Also, I obviously out myself as a poser when I say SQL instead of SQL, I think. But I do it. Link is so good, though. No, it's not, Nix. I mean, it's probably very usable. But I don't think I'd want to use it anywhere that was at all performance related. All right, are we flickering? Okay, so we're no longer flickering now. Oh, and our block placement works. Including the Z stuff here. Hell yeah. Can I control the Z level yet? No, I can't. So that's like the next thing we need to work on, is being able to manually control the Z level. Interesting. Oh, I wonder if instead of having it tied to the scroll... No. Ignore me. Ignore me. If anyone's familiar with the Galactic Inquisitor. Whose baby is this? All right. Okay, so that's all working fine. Good. No flickering. That's good. Yeah, I saw some flickering yesterday, and someone was like, oh, I've been having sprite flickering the whole time. Which I actually did have for a while. I don't think I have it anymore. I might still. So if I do this and I start to move around, there was sprite flickering a lot. Super weird flickering. I don't have it anymore, which makes me think they fixed it. Huzzah! Hey, Daranash. Did you make the raycast thing to place blocks over others without changing Z, or are you still doing it manually? No, so that works now. If you look at when I do this, when we place a block, the system can tell what side of the block you're placing it on. So yeah, our little fake raycast thing is operational. What I actually need to add now is a way to set it manually. Because right now it's just based off of. the raycast. So yeah, if anything, we have the opposite problem now. But yeah, it's great. It makes it easy to draw walls and stuff. You can just, it'll just remember what you were using. But yeah, I need to add a manual scroll, which is, I think, the next thing we're going to work on. But how's it going? How do you delete blocks if we'll try to place above it? Oh, so it can tell the difference. So the way we store these in like a vector 4. So we have the regular coordinates at XYZ. And then what you do is you can read the W component, which is just an enum for the face. So like block.face. So 1 is X, Y is 2, Z is 3. And it can just, so you store that in the W component. And then if you want the offset for like the raycast thing, you can add that offset. If you don't want the offset, you just read the actual coordinate itself. So here that's presented as, so if we want the offset, we can take the cursor coords.xyz and we can add the W component converted into a, it's just converted into a direction like 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, whatever. No Jewel, Godot web exports give you a headache today. Oh man. Godot web exports give people headaches every day. But yeah, that sucks. Hey, what up, Segfaulted? Nanigans, you're still fighting with invisible faces? You think you've narrowed down the issue to your greedy mesh algorithm? Logic isn't logicking right now. That's like literally what I was having with my ghost blocks. That error was so dumb. My stupid ghost blocks. Where they were getting written down, but not represented visually. But yeah, Darren Ash, I'll show you some erasure. How's it going, Segfaulted? So we can just, so here you can see, like, here we're on the side, and then as soon as we get onto the Z face of these, it pops up to the top. But if I switch to the eraser mode, he says, I haven't set up the eraser mode. But it works. It just reads the actual coordinate, not the offset, like I was explaining before. Nanigans. The raycast thing definitely feels much more intuitive. It's more clear for people watching what's going on too. I think so. I think so. The intuition for it is good. But yeah, I want to add that override because there are situations where I want to scroll up and like make a wall myself. It's okay, we believe in you. Yeah, I got rid of our input model. We had a command pattern input model where we'd pass these command arguments. We'd queue them up and then we'd process them, or command by command, which was neat, but it was like very overkill, so we're not doing that anymore. But all of the systems were written to consume those commands. So now I've just kind of commented them out, and we're just rewriting them as simple things. I still have some enums, so we've broken it down. We basically are just storing the input state in a global instead of having a command getting recorded, multiple commands getting recorded, a frame, whatever. But it does mean we have to hook everything back up to work with these new this new input model. Thanks for the hydrate, Segfaulted. No Jewel, with using C#, you don't have to worry about web exports with Godot, right? Correct. I don't have to worry about web exports with Godot because it doesn't support it. So that is true. That's the benefit of C# with Godot, is you don't have to deal with web exports. Just call you Seg. It's easier. Okay. You're the boss. What's everyone up to? Back into Project Zomboid, Nix. How did you know? You should have never friended me on Steam. Oh yeah, thanks for the sub. Yeah, thank you again, Nix. That was great. We are running a weird little promotion. Twitch is like, please run a promotion before it expires at the end of the month. And I was like, you know, for episode 300, let's do it. So for yesterday, today, and tomorrow, there's like a weird little gift sub discount. It's like 35% off 5, which I'm not saying anybody do that. I'm just saying Twitch wants us to. I am fully funded by my day job. Do not think I will starve. You're working on your mod? Nice. Nanigans, the status with web exports for C#. Sounds like they're getting close. It's not a priority right now. Apparently, there doesn't seem to be much demand for it. Yeah, probably. They are working on it. It is close. I think it's going to be a lot easier with the new way they want C# to be integrated, because right now C# is kind of its own version of the engine and everything, right? And eventually they want it to kind of work like a GD extension, so you don't need your own version of the engine. That's what I was told, is eventually it'll be a lot better and more tightly integrated with the engine. You're creating some promo videos right now? Ooh, that sounds fun. All right, what am I doing, chat? What did I say I was going to work on? Oh yeah, we're going to try to do some manual stuff. Maybe what we should be doing is hooking back up some of the some of the basic block sculpting functionality, like eraser. Not active block dot has any return. So this should only run if this does have stuff. So we can put it here. Should there be a reveal blocks at the top though? Yes. And then we'll do this part. Actually, is this exactly the same as the hover logic? Not quite. So what do I need to do for this? So I kind of need to know that we have toggled the eraser. So we have a toggle eraser mode. Oh, no, I actually don't. I don't need to know that. I don't think. I don't think it needs to work that way. I think what we've got here... This uses cursor chords. The last one uses prior bounds. So why don't we currently... So why doesn't it work then when I hit the eraser? Oh, because I don't... Oh, because I'm using this block eraser mode local. I need to stop doing that. It's a global. We're not managing this local anymore. That would explain it. So here we'll say game.input.in eraser mode. The web exports for C# will be ready for episode 400, maybe? Maybe. I don't think this... I mean, this game is certainly not going to be a web export game. Lo-Fi Flyby might fit in a web browser. I don't know. I still would probably not support it. From your understanding, Nanigans, the main issue remaining with the C# exports is independent to it being a GD extension. There's specific functions that they are having issues with getting into the WASM. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't know any of that stuff. And I don't follow it very closely because if I'm making a jam game, I'm doing it in GD script. And if it's not a jam game, if it's a jam game, it has to have a web export. And if it's not a jam game, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I know there's a lot of people that for them it's a deal breaker. A lot of people coming over from Unity, especially. Nix, you just had a massive breakthrough. Your modified models have skinned data or vertex data. Animation weight. It still moves to the animation after real-time exporting the vertex array and then modifying it and then re-importing it. Interesting. I don't totally understand what that means, but I can empathize with and feel the breakthrough. A breakthrough is always just so exciting, and it's so great, kind of proportional to like how much of a blocker it was. All right, so we'll say put that in eraser mode. So we don't need that. We also don't need this, I don't think. All we really need to do is know this. If game.input.inEraser mode. All right. Well, if I'm correct, eraser mode will be re-enabled then. Was around a 3-year-long blocker? Okay. Then yeah, maybe I don't understand how much of a breakthrough that was. That's huge. 3 years. That's like, I can see why maybe you shelved that project for a while. All right, it's still not doing anything. Do we not have it set up to the input map, maybe? We probably don't have it hooked up in the input handler. Because I haven't rewritten most of the input handler stuff. Toggle eraser mode, toggle eraser tool. I'm going to say toggle eraser mode. Check the input map. Maybe I should call it erase mode, not eraser mode, but toggle erase mode. Most people think of it as a tool, though, like toggle eraser. I might just shorten it to say toggle eraser. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it as tool. It's a mode. It's a mode. We're calling it a mode. Okay, and then when we get to the eraser mode, what happens? When we do that here, what occurs? Toggle eraser mode. Input.inEraser mode equals not input.inEraser mode. Okay, I don't totally understand why the eraser isn't doing anything. In eraser mode. Thanks. You spent on and off a good part of the past 3 years working away at this. You're only actively working on this problem for about 2 years or so beforehand. During it, you were working on stuff to avoid the problem. Yeah, working around a problem like that is kind of the only thing you can do. Although it usually casts such... The uncertainty that it creates is usually really concerning here. All right, so why are we not switching to eraser mode? Do you think I rebound the eraser key? Because to be fair, I was thinking about using Q and E for rotating the camera, and that totally won't work. We're also using it for erase. Maybe we're using it with like shift something. Toggle eraser mode. E, physical. Okay, rotate is supposed to be... I don't exactly want to rotate the block. I want to rotate the camera. Okay, that's also E, which is not good. This should probably be Shift Q. Should be Shift E. And then these, rotating the block, I don't know. Maybe Control Q and E. I need to map my inputs a little better in my head. I've got like this web of inputs, and I haven't really thought about the control scheme very much. All right, we're heading into ads. Hold on to your ads. All right, let's try to figure this out. So I guess we'll turn this into... I'll stop this being an expression body for a second just so I can add a debug. So let's flip it and then write out the debug. Let's see what the result of this is. It should just toggle it. Doesn't seem to be doing anything like that, though. Oh yeah, that function's not even getting called. The heck? Okay, well that would explain. That would explain why it's not working. Alright, off to ads we go here. I'll keep working. I still got plenty of water, I think. I don't have to go back to work after this, which is blessed. But I do have to go to the dentist, so... You know, it's a mixed bag. Alright, so why does toggle eraser mode not do what I think it should? Game.toggle eraser mode. If input.isAction just pressed and toggle eraser mode true. Okay. Print. Toggle. The bone doctor. That's a gruesome way to refer to them. Okay. It's not receiving the input at all. Is this something that should be in unhandled input? Where is this currently? If game.state as string is edit. What? Print. Edit. Oh, it doesn't consider us to be in the edit state, maybe? Which is interesting. Who's telling us that? Whose job is it to tell us we're in this state? Maybe I'm just gonna print the game.statusstring. Which I have to do because GDScript can't read our enum, and I don't want to maintain the enum in multiple places. I mean, it's not better to have it as a string, but it is more readable. We're in the exit state. Huh. Why are we in the exit the state the whole time? Whose job is this? Whose job is this to tell us what state we're in? Statestack.add state.edit. Yeah. Debug.writeLine. Game.peak state. Somehow we're entering.
What in the name of heaven is this?
Oh my glob.
Mind, Spock.
I need to rethink those callouts. Two callouts are happening simultaneously. One is you're out of your Vulcan mind, Spock, which is our gift bomb one. And then there's also what in the name of heaven is this, which Bones says when we get a hype train. So Mr. Magoo has both gift bombed the channel and started a hype train. Thank you, Magoo. Hello. Gotta go. Hope the stream is good. Thank you so much. What a gift for this, our episode 300. Take it easy, Magoo. See you soon. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the gifted tier subs, tier 1 subs to Stubenhocker, to Rimas, to Yo David O, to Buttered Toast with Jam, and to Nano Dev. Oh, our very own Nano Dev. That's great. Thank you. Appreciate you. I was so skeptical of this Twitch promotion, but it's working.
You're out of your Vulcan mind, Spock.
Oh my lord. Mr. Magoo. Oh, hey, Buttered Toast with Jam. Here you are. Oh, has Twitch actually started prioritizing people that are in chat for these? That's awesome. It used to be just a random smattering of users, of people who have watched the stream before. All bow to Magoo. Thank you so much, Magoo. Ooh, gift leader 2. Oh, you gifted a sub accidentally and randomly to CA2 Software. That's great. Stealing your hype train badge here. Look, you had it for a day, Nix. I'm sorry. You were the conductor for a day. Yeah, getting us to the hype train level 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Magoo. You just got us. I just started our next sub goal this stream because Nix got us to our last sub goal. And now you just blew past this sub goal. I might let that ride for a while and not set another one. Thank you so much. The support is huge. I really appreciate it. You know what? I think the state as string function is hard-coded, isn't it? It's hard-coded, and I reordered the state enum. I think that's what happened. Where is state as string? State names, int, peak state. Yep. All right. I did not reorder. I did not reorder those. I guess I'll add null back. Just so that it lines up. Edit, exit, menu, play. Okay, so it wasn't an order problem. It was a off by 1 indexing problem. All right, great. Welcome back, Commander Apollo. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Mr. Magoo. We are about to beat our record, our hype train record here. The peak Bernard jokes are pretty good, Arneo. I see what you're doing there. All right, that should fix the weird issue. Also, I'm pretty sure I said it, but yeah, again, welcome in, Buttered Toast. Hope you're having a fine Thursday here. Thanks for joining us for episode 300. Starting our 4th century off strong. The 4th century is a big one, isn't it? You know, I'm not going to get into Greek history. Although this is Sparta. Let's see, what were they doing in the 4th century BCE? That was probably the Peloponnesian War. That's after the war with Persia, right? They count backwards, so it's kind of confusing. Oh, technically, I guess the century starts at 301, so I guess we're not there yet. Oh man, a lot of stuff happened in the 4th century. Maybe we'll look at that tomorrow when we actually reach the 4th century. Cancel the stream. We'll redo it all tomorrow. No, we're going to keep it rolling. Let it ride. All right. Hype train complete at level 3. All right. What did I get? I love how they give you a little emote. And low. Oh, that's a silly one. I think I got this one. Very cute. Thank you so much, Mr. Magoo. Our hero. Hero of the hour. And we reached our sub goal. Huge. All right. So now that I did that, everything should work now. So now if I do this, I draw something and I switch to eraser mode. There we go. Yeah, you see it switches from placing a block at the offset for that coordinate. It switches that to erasing the actual block at that coordinate. What's interesting is what if I start a placement and then turn the eraser on? What happens? Oh, it flickers. Neat. Okay, good. That's what I thought should happen, but I hadn't actually tested that before. All right, sick. Okay, eraser works. That feels like the last of the core functions. I'm hesitant to sort out the copy, cut and paste stuff right now. It's really tedious. And I think I need a better model about what it means to be like a brush or like a thing in a clipboard. I need an idea of what a block prefab means. I need to think about that more. About like a block volume that has a certain arrangement that you can use for constructions. I need to think about that a little more before I worry about redoing it. Arneo, if this channel gets bigger, you have to agree on what emotes to spam when, and you nominate the bowing bear for gift subs. That's pretty cute. Yeah, I think for simplicity's sake, I think in every case it's appropriate to ship it. I think that's our rallying. That's certainly our raid emote. But I like your bowing. I like your bowing, Bernard. I think that's funny. We're also only a couple months off for getting to our 2-year sub badge. Some people will start unlocking that. So by some people, I mean me. We're not far off for our second stream anniversary here. Just a couple more months. 2 or 3 months. Well, I guess it depends on what you mean by stream anniversary. Our stream anniversary is actually February, so next month. And then our affiliate anniversary is like April. I gotta get it. I gotta get it straight. All right, so we can get rid of this case and this case. Oh, do we still have this saved? I'm gonna leave this ghost code here for a little while. Palette swapping. I can't do any palette swapping right now, so I'm gonna leave that off. We've got placement. We've got selection. But you know what I haven't done is I haven't implemented selection. So let's do the selection. Why not? I would consider that maybe the last core function here. So this is going to be an else if. And we'll have an if game. Well, here let's get this here. And then we'll replace this with if game.select.input selection. Oh, we don't have a selection stage. What is selection? It's like the actual pieces that we're selecting. I might call those selection coords. And then we'll also have stage, selection, stage. Thanks for shipping it. Do you need Bernard on a ship? Give me time. That would be funny. It'd be funny to just ship Bernard. Where do people normally find my channel, Darnash? You know, it's a great question. I think most people find me for the first time on YouTube. YouTube has been giving a lot of impressions. So I think people find me on YouTube, and then they tend to stick around, which is crazy. But I don't know. People can say how they found me and how they found the channel. It's a good question. I would like to know. I think a lot of people find me during game jams. Actually, that's what it is. Because I'll do a few game jams a year, and those are like big marathon streams, and that's when we get a lot of our raids and stuff. And I think that's I think when the channel like grows like noticeably in a very short period of time is each time I do a big game jam like Ludum Dare or Down to Jam or Solo Development Jam. All right, take it easy, Commander. Arneo, ship it is iconic. It's for mass appeal. The bowing bear or something like that. More elaborate. Works better for in-group identification. Oh, then it's up to you, Arneo. In-group, you get to decide who's in and who's out, you know? Who's in this in-group. You gotta have those rituals that nobody else understands. I agree with the caveat of let's not gatekeep in the channel, right? Like, it's one thing to be like, you get it. You're part of the in crowd, but let's never try to like keep people out just because they don't understand our weird little behaviors. So yeah, as long as it's always opt-in, happy for it. Brandon, you found it through a raid. Huh. You think it was a sorcery story raid. Huh. Fascinating. Nix, you found it on YouTube? Okay, okay. Buttered Toast, you wanted to watch programming, so you found it through Discord. Oh. Fascinating. I know almost nobody who has found us through Discord. I guess this is a community channel, so it is searchable, probably. Hey, NanoDev, thanks for hopping in. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Magoo. Darren Ash, you found it through Twitch's development games tab. Yeah, the software and game development category. You were searching for someone to chill to use your Prime stuff on. I appreciate that. Thank you. You don't even remember, no, Joel. Yeah, I don't know. Someone mentioned it on Discord. That's great. I really appreciate whoever's talking about the channel like that. So this is going to be selection stage. It's not equal to stage.none. How's it going, Nano? It's been a minute. I do want an argument out of range exception. I want this one. But unhandled selection stage. Selection stage. Arnio, you got here via the YouTube search bar? Huh. You were trying to find long-form game dev streams to sleep to when you started learning Godot. Nice. Just kind of absorb the knowledge through osmosis. I don't know if you're going to learn much. You'd learn much from this channel except like what not to do, right? But, you know, that's worth it. That's worthwhile. Do we need to... Okay, so I've copied this over. What we need to do now is we need to swap over things that don't make sense. So the selection is pretty straightforward. That would never use the offset, so that's good. That's good. And then we're switching off of the interaction stage. Right. Man, I wrote all these parsers and like I don't need to use them anymore. Nanigans, for you indeed got recommended the channel through to YouTube. There you go. I think that's where most people find the channel. I think overall the most people probably find the channel on YouTube, and I think the second biggest is probably Game Jams. That's when I get my most exposure, that's for sure. Watch me like in a few months from now, deeply regret switching away from a command pattern input model. Well, we're doing it. We're doing it. Command dot. Oh, right. Selection is additive, maybe. Game input dot additive selection. Maybe we do like this. Public, bool, additive, selection. Yeah. Because we do need to know the difference between a selection that replaces what we were selecting versus one that adds. I really want to get some click and move stuff where you click drag to select and then you click drag again to move the selection. I want to get some of that going. That's my preferred way to move stuff around in this kind of a editor. And I don't support that yet. I honestly prefer that to any kind of copy paste stuff. I actually think copy paste is going to be like really limited in terms of its applicability for us. I think drag move, because oftentimes what you really want to do is you're like, oh, I need to move this room over a few blocks so that I can like widen this hallway, or so I can like add another room between this room and another room. So I think click drag kind of thing is going to be more useful. All right, but how do we define... Where do we define a new selection? We do it in the input handler, right? I think. Maybe we do it in the board. Yeah, okay, we do. We do. So is event.isActionPressed select. All right, now here's the part where like I really don't want to hard code any of this. I think before we were just raw, just like checking to see if someone had like the shift key on. And I don't want to do that. I want it to be all tied up with... I want it to be all tied up into actions. Okay, no, so I have it here. We have add to selection, which is just shift. And we have remove from selection, which is alt. What is the opposite of additive? Subtractive, obviously, duh. All right, so we've got an additive selection, and we need a remove. We need a subtractive selection as well. So I'll put that down here. Bool. And we'll go back here. Apropos of nothing, I think I'm going to try to work on bare necessities a little bit this weekend. I'm going to be at my monthly Godot meetup on Saturday. I try to do something a little unusual at those meetups, like not my just day-to-day. I think I'm going to try to get a post-jam version, working on a post-jam version for bare necessities. I just want to do some user feedback stuff. I also want to add some audio, but I'm probably not going to do that right away. Excuse me. What am I going to have for lunch today? A little cafe down the street has like a discount on meatball subs on Thursday. I don't think there's a way of saying that that sounds slick or alliterative. Alliterative is a weird word. Record the music live at the meetup. Not bad. I honestly, the music, I'm pretty sure the music is going to be an instrumental version of Bare Necessities, of Look for the Bare Necessities, whatever it's called. It's the actual title of that song. Oh, it's just called Bare Necessity. I think I want to just record an instrumental version of that. Okay, some places have it written down as the Bare Necessities. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. Such a good song, yeah. Adding a sprint button with 5% more move speed on Bernard. Yeah, I'll play with it. I'll play with it a little. I'm hesitant to change the move speed because then I need to rebalance the energy stuff. Like how much energy decays and how much you get. I will see. I will potentially up it to whatever I consider the maximum reasonable speed is for that animation. It is a 2-frame animation. It is very simple. There is not a lot of room for improvement. But you are right. It handles like crap. It's very slow. Even when I want to just show the game to people, it takes like 3 minutes just to get Bernard out of his cabin. I think it'll be a lot more tolerable because I'm going to add... I have these little bare footstep trail trackers that are going to like... they're going to follow along from Bernard to wherever you're clicking. It'll be little bare footsteps. And I think that will help because you'll see what's going to happen. And then I think the audio ambience will buy me some credit. I think it will give me some credit with people as far as like being more willing to sit there in the space. All right, so if event.isActionPressed is select. So now we need to say if, well, how are we going to handle this in terms of like, what if there's a disconnect between the additive and subtractive selection, and what if it gets interrupted midway through? What happens? Like, what if we start an additive selection and then we let up the shift key midway through it? It probably remains additive, right? Like, we probably don't change that. Could you cake him up a little more? I don't think we could cake Bernard up anymore. Let's see. We can take a look though. I don't think you can cake him up at all. Where's the inverse though? Where's like reverse Bernard? Because the cake is all in the back, right? Whereas, how does this even work? How did I do this? I need like one of the other walk cycles. There we go. A little bit of it. Where's the northwest walk? Yeah, here we go. It's so stupid. It's 3 frames. Not in my mind, because you're right, it's 3 frames. But in my mind, each movement is just, you move 1 pixel in the direction, then you move back. Then you move 1 pixel in the other direction, then you move back. So yeah, I guess technically that's the 3-frame animation. Not totally wrong. The pickups are 2 frames. I love the little Bernard yoga move. Gotta figure out some way of making that more so funny. Nyx, add an extreme game mode where the only thing that changes is Bernard says, "Oh yeah, I'm extreme." Oh yeah. Making it one of those desktop games that run on the side. We will get there, No Jewel. That is probably going to be our first commercial product, is going to be a little desktop companion game based on our stuff we're working on. We got a name and everything. We got a name, an idea. We got a, you know, Panama. No one's going to get that reference. Take out the middle frame, maybe? That would make it worse, wouldn't it? Oh, you mean you want to make it seem faster? I see. So you're thinking about it would be we could make it faster if we hid the reset. No, I like the reset because it makes him so lumbery. He's got to lumber. If he's not lumbering, is he really a bear? Arnia, you kind of want to record like a theme tune for Bernard. Maybe like a chill and less rhythmic ripoff of Bare Necessities. Yeah, whatever I do will be instrumental, and it will probably be pretty down tempo. It'll be stringed instruments, so I would love to do it, and I'm on the clock for it because I basically have until our next game jam. And our next game jam is March 6th, I think. So I've got about 6 weeks or so, 6 or 7 weeks to really do whatever I'm gonna do. Otherwise, I think I'll be out of time, and then we'll have 2 back-to-back game jams in March and April, and I'm not gonna want to go back to Bernard by then. You've seen some fast bears in your life? Well, through a screen. Yeah, true. There's people tell you stuff. They're like, it's one of those things. It's like you gotta be able to tell what kind of bear it is, though, because it's like, if it's a brown bear, you can't outrun it, and if it's a black bear, you won't be able to outclimb it, or something like that. And so it's like you gotta pick the right strat. But as usual, you know, you don't need to outrun the lion. You just need to outrun your slowest friend, right? You could add a 1 in 10,000 chance for a pie to spawn. Eating it, Bernard would say yum. That would have been fun. If Bernard was like an open world game or something like that, or it had a map, there would definitely have been like a pie sitting on like a kitchen windowsill or something that you could have snatched. That's definitely something that would have happened. All right, so I don't think we need to do... Here's my concern. I don't think I can read the input here because this is a discrete input event, and we're just looking for one of these. And so I think here, when we get to here, what we need to do... If a mid selection... I kind of want to be able to change the subtractive and additive stuff mid selection, but we're not going to start with that, I guess. So begin selection, we'll say a mid selection is true, begin selection is false. We'll have a... Here, what we do need to do is we need to say... We need to pass some more stuff to the input handler for this. Actually, maybe the input handler could figure this out on its own. So if we say input handler.begin selection, then what we could do is we could say, we could do the question here. So we could say if input is action pressed, add to selection. How does the inputs work? We say game.begin interaction. So here we could say, we could pass them in as parameters. That's probably the best thing to do. Here we're going to say, so selection, so same deal. We'll say if game.statusString is edit or play, there's no args, so what we need to say is we could say if is action.pressed, add to selection. We could also say elif input.is action pressed. I think instead of remove, I should rename this to subtract from selection. Let's say subtract from selection. These should also be string names and not strings. I guess these could arguably be string names as well. Maybe. We'll see if that works. Does is not work? Oh, I have to say equivalent to this. Here we can say game dot begin selection. Oh, let's go write that function, I guess. You're gonna head out? All right. You need a shovel for the third, hopefully final time today. That sounds like some snow. And you're gonna play some games. Yes. Take care. Thanks, Diginanigans. Good to see ya. Maybe I'll catch you tomorrow. We are streaming tomorrow. We are not streaming Saturday. As again, the aforementioned monthly Godot meetup. If anyone else is local in the community, there's a monthly Godot game meetup at Noisebridge. If you're interested, reach out to me. What am I doing? Adding functions, right? Brother. May I have some oats, brother? Hey, Push Toy, how's it going? Screaming in with the brother. All right, so what we want to do here, so we have a begin interaction. Now we need a begin selection. I kind of liked our super generic just in queue input function that we used with our weird command argument chains. This is definitely a kludgier way to do it, but I think it's just better. Should we have like a modifier? You're okay? Oh, good. How am I? I'm doing good. This is episode 300 of Digital Iliad. We are making an FTL-like, isometric FTL-like game in Godot. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. FTL is such a banger game. I know. It is. I'll be lucky. We'll be lucky if we even just catch like a fraction of that game. We're kind of taking a more... I would say we're taking more of like a RimWorld-y approach to it as far as like it's bigger scoped in terms of scale. But that also means it's slower because I'm imagining with our isometric 2D thing, we're doing a lot of work to make a 3D space that gets rendered in isometric 2D. So like the ship will be like more layered than FTL. So you might have the bridge at the top and then like maybe like a tactical room with like your weapons and whatever. And then you might have like a, you know, an engine room or a cargo bay or something like that. I also want to have more, with all that space, I want to have a lot more of the life of the ship being very prominently featured. Like I would love to have a mess hall or like the classic Star Trek like observation lounge, like not 10 forward, but 10 forward would be super cool. But I'm thinking of like, you know, every TNG episode, they go to their conference room, right? And they're sitting around and they're talking about their problems. I would love to have more of that. Obviously, that's huge. It'll be a huge undertaking to do anything close to that. But, you know, we're working on it. I don't think there's any point in cloning FTL nowadays because, you know, a game just came out that cloned FTL pretty hard. Void War. It's good, and it actually explores what happens when you kind of up the scale of FTL. And that's just like a straight copy. And I think it did well. I actually don't know what their numbers are like right now. But I think it did well. Void War is like, what if you were able to make a game based on FTL and Warhammer 40,000 and not pay anyone any kind of royalties? 2,500 English reviews. That's pretty reasonable. 2,500 English reviews would put it kind of around, I don't know. Let's mid. It's probably close to 100,000 copies. It's pretty good. Pretty reasonable. At $20 a pop, 50 to 100K copies is pretty good. But yeah, there are people that have been like, look at this interface. This interface is ridiculous. Let me pause it on the interface. How crazy just exact is this? Like, this is just the FTL interface. Wild. The 40K influence is crazy. You saw that game? Yeah. This game was fun. We played it on stream a couple times. It's good. I think it's like, I actually don't quite like how many characters you have to control. It kind of gets out of control. That was a stupid thing to say. But yeah, it shows kind of the appetite for this kind of a game. It's reasonable. No, Jewel, you want an Easter egg with the NPCs all moving at Bernard speed? Bernard would be funny to just put straight into the game. He'd probably fit in terms of character scale. Hey, Sapphire. Look at you over in YouTube. It's easier to log in to YouTube from your phone than Twitch. Nice, that's a good reason. Yeah, I think if you're lurking, I think YouTube's a nice place to be for the stream. Push Toy, FTL really is such a great Star Trek analog, so much potential. Yeah. Yeah, so we're not going to do that top-down 2D pixel art style. We're taking on more of a 3D thing. So a lot of what we're working on is a tool set to let us build out and handle that. Bernard could be a race of hostile warrior cult aliens, maybe. I'd be tempted to do the I'd be tempted to do the lower decks thing of like the cosmic koala. I would have Bernard be our cosmic koala. It's like the thing people say when they're having like near-death experience. It's the thing people see when they have like a near-death experience or whatever. Or like a cosmic event. Just a constellation. There is a constellation of the bear. And maybe our constellation of the bear is just an outline of Bernard. That'd be pretty fun. That'd be pretty fun. All right, so I think we've decided we're going to... We're going to pass in. I think I'm going to make a mode. I think I'm going to make a mode enum, the same way we have like a stage enum. Maybe it'll be a modifier enum instead of mode. Actually, mode might be a flag because maybe you'd want to be in multiple modes. I don't know. Do I want to do that or do I want to just have... Because right now I just have a bool that says additive selection. I think I'll do an enum instead. So we're going to make a thing called a mode. We'll have like neutral being like our 0. Nix, your favorite constellation is Pegasus. I wonder why. My favorite constellation was the Stargazer. Hey! I just watched that, I think. The original, like, Stargazer episode. Actually, there's only one Stargazer episode. What am I talking about? I think this might be kind of a dumb way to do this, but this could be fun. We could do some other stuff with this too. So instead of this additive and subtractive selection thing, what instead we're going to have is a public mode selection mode. All right, so now we're going to set this when we call into the begin selection. We'll have a set selection mode function. Let's do that. So we're not always going to want to set the selection. Oh, we can't take just a mode, though, can we? Maybe this is the wrong thing to do. How do we do this with that state script? I guess what we would need to do is do the opposite of this. I don't love that. Maybe this is the wrong approach, actually. Because part of the problem is passing information over from GD script. So maybe it is better to just say, you know what it is? You know, let's not pass in the mode. Let's just say public static void additive selection. We can say input dot selection mode equals mode dot additive. There we go. Now the thing doesn't need to know about that. Are you mixing languages here, Push Toy? Yeah, we are. We are. Our simulation layer is in C#, and all the, like, you know, the rendering and the UI stuff is back in Godot. So I've been very careful about where the two talk to each other, and they pretty much just talk here, where we get the inputs over from GDScript, and then we send back everything we need to render. And that's it. All of the simulation is handled totally separate from the Godot scene tree and the API and all that stuff. Kind of a weird way to do it, but I have some reasons. I wouldn't recommend mixing languages. It's kind of annoying. It's definitely annoying, actually. If you feel confident doing it, oh, confident is an interesting choice of word. I do feel like it was the right move for us, given my personal familiarity. I'm a lot more comfortable in C# than I would be if I tried to code this in like C++ as like a GD extension. Because we're doing a simulation, so we're trying to architect around some obvious performance bottlenecks, which is part of the reason why the scene tree is only things we need to render, not all simulation elements. Our simulation elements are just very lightweight structs that get passed around by this entity component system deal that we've made. So yeah, this is definitely not, you know, the best way to do it, but it's certainly a way to do it. So how do we tell it to... We could have a reset selection mode. Or we could just have a neutral selection. Actually, we could just pass in a bool. Actually, what we don't want to call this mode neutral. We want to call it exclusive. Let's go to this mode script here. So this is not going to be neutral. This is going to be undefined. So we'll have... Then we'll have here exclusive. Because exclusive, I think, is what you would normally expect. We'll have additive, and then we'll have subtractive. Actually, maybe we'll do that in a slightly different order. The order doesn't really matter. Push toy. You tried the Godot C++ for about 5 minutes before realizing it would not be convenient. Yeah, I think it's quite good for a lot of things. It has the benefit of, you know, you can hide some crazy performance sensitive code and just call into it through GDScript, just like you would anything else. I also didn't want to do... I wanted to do systems-based processing rather than like object-based, like updates. So it just seemed nice to do it this way. But yeah, I also didn't want this project to be the Dave Learns C++ project. Because I have, you know, tons of experience with C#. So I think it would have been a cool learning project to do it as like a we learn C++ as we make this game. But I feel like that's a different undertaking, right? Than just making it with the skills that you have. What is your C++ experience? I've read some articles. I have no C++ experience. I read a bit of how Flex works. And Flex is in C++, but... Yeah, I'm not a C++ programmer. I like to say I'm not a real programmer. I'm like a script kiddie. Give me C#, give me JavaScript. I'm your guy. What the heck is run continue interaction? Run begin selection. Why is that? Kind Oh, is that because it doesn't take a parameter? Interesting. You wouldn't consider C# user a script kiddie? Maybe sometimes. Depends on how you learned. I learned through Unity, right? And the Unity's version of C# was very rudimentary, at least while I was using it. It's nice to be able to be in, like, this is .NET 9, but if I wanted to, I could update to .NET 10 today, and Godot would be, like, fine with it. So it's nice to be able to be at, like, the blazing edge of C#. I don't know what the state of that is in Unity. But previously, you couldn't just use whatever version of C# you wanted. I feel like set selection mode with like maybe like an int or a bool or a string or something, and then we I don't know. Maybe we could put this in the input class here as a private thing, like I could do something like game.state. I might do that, honestly, like input.mode, and then be able to take in whatever. It would save me some trouble. Let's try doing it that way. Because I don't mind just filling this up with a bunch of expressions. Here. String mode. And here we could just say how do we do that? We already do this once. Oh, we do it in the state, right? Yeah, Unity's always behind in C# features. Very true. All right, we're in ads. I'm going to take a quick break. Just get some water and stuff. Quick bio break. Be right back in a couple minutes. Thanks for hanging out today. Thank you for joining us here for episode 300. Appreciate you. Be right back. We back. Got about another 30 minutes here. Just keep on keeping on. Yeah, so what I do here to help with the cross-domain stuff is we have like a list of states. Well, no, we don't. That's the state stack. So we have our enums of states, but we also have a string, a static read-only string array that's like the names of the states, so that GDScript can just pass over the name of the state, and then we can. So when we push it over, so if we need to, usually we don't get the state from GDScript. GDScript reads the state because the GDScript side, the Godot side, is not the deterministic side. It's not the side determining what we are doing. Is what I should probably say. Hey, Stubenhocker. I don't know if the wave was addressed to me or not, but appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. It feels like I haven't seen you in a while. Hope the year's been good to you so far. Oh, it's when I was left for the quick break. Right on. Right on. Wave for returning now. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's just hide that in here, maybe in the input class. Have like a private. We could have a setter that just handles it for us. I didn't really want mode to be involved here. I just don't know. Like here we have the game.state. I guess maybe mode is an input thing, so we could have an input.mode. How do I want to do this? Because I'd rather not have like a function, a static function for every single mode. Honestly, I shouldn't even have a static function for every single interaction. I gotta message somebody. Nix, you're so tired. It's only 11 p.m. I'm asleep. I've been getting in trouble lately this week. I did good yesterday. I got to sleep by like 10. But I've been staying up too late, and it's making it really hard to wake up early for work because my workday starts early, which is already a struggle to do during the winter. Nix, you're not sure why you're so tired. When you go to bed at 11, you wake up between 2 and 5 a.m. You go to bed at midnight, around 5 a.m. From 1 a.m. until 3 a.m., you can sleep until 5 p.m. Oh, that's crazy. That was confusing, but... Sapphire, you're rather tired today as well. Hence why you're laying down, watching on the phone. No, I feel that. No, it's been tough. It's a 3-day holiday weekend here. In the States. It's gonna be MLK Junior Day on Monday. I'm like, I'm so thankful because yeah, jumping right back into like just full work schedule after like all the holidays, I like didn't have the stamina for it, and I'm struggling. So we take a mode, and then what we need to do is we need to convert that mode back to an enum. The best way to do that is to say Maybe we have an input function. No, that doesn't make sense. I guess maybe what we do is we have a private function. That actually cares. Random journey. Most nights you go to bed tired and you can't fall asleep for hours. That's something my partner says. My partner's like, there's a difference between tiredness and sleepiness. And I guess I'm lucky because for me that's not true. You get to work. Sorry, Sapphire. Rima's, you're in the kind of the same for you. Like Nyx's weird sleep schedule. Yeah, it's kind of broken. I am passing that rite of passage. I've reached that rite of passage where I have to, more often than not, I have to wake up in the middle of the night to go pee. That's one of those, you know you're getting old when. I wonder if I'm going to want to have interaction modes too, eventually. I probably will, honestly. Maybe stage is also something I'm going to put under the input stage. Yeah, it's not really an input stage though, is it? I don't know. There's so many ways that this could be done. Let's just do it. Who cares? Let's try it out. I'm wasting too much time just waffling. This isn't a class though. This is going to be part of a public partial sealed class input. Does partial come after sealed? Say public enum mode. I'll just copy this stuff from mode. I don't know why I didn't just change this part. I'm gonna try this. I'm not convinced this is the right thing to do, but and then what we can do is we can have a private read-only static list. It doesn't have to be a list. It could actually be a string array. I can just do it all like this. I think. Oh, I do need to name it. Mode names. Static read only. I always get my keywords in the wrong order. Hey, bad cop. Is that DIGITAL ILIAD? Yeah, it's hard to say. But I will tell you this. Dave's not here. How's it going, bad cop? Push toy. If you aren't laying in bed for 5 hours wondering why you weren't asleep, are you even living? That sounds like such a horrible way to be alive. I would be sad. Exactly. Random journey. I feel sad for anyone who has to put up with that. My partner does that too. You're like, I need a few hours to like fall asleep after I get into bed. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, I'm asleep before you can say honk shoe. just going to use the index of mode names, I guess. Digital Iliad is easier. Should have gone for that. Next time. Next time. Arneo, you need unintelligible low-volume talking sounds to sleep. You're learning that's more common than you thought. Yeah, it isn't that weird. My partner does that too. They like to listen to little... they like BBC radio shows. They like to listen to something. Golden Girls can work too. I just need a fan. I just need some kind of noise. I think for me, it has to be actually unintelligible. Like, it has to just be noise. That helps a lot. I hate sleeping in silence. All right, so we do this. We make our mode names. This way, from GDScript, we can just pass in a string, and then this thing will say, here, we'll have a function here. I don't know what order these things should be in. Set mode from string, I guess. I don't know. String mode. And we'll just say, oh no, it's public static mode. And then what? So we return mode. And we get index of, we need to get mode names dot index of. Where my index of at? Is index of an array function? Do I need to just say array dot index of? And I say mode names. And I say, and I'm looking for mode. And then we get our index and then we just convert it to a mode. And there we go. Now Godot doesn't need to know about our enum and we can get our mode. And then I don't have to have all these different functions. Okay, let me catch up on chat here. Rhiannon, you also have to have something playing. It has to be aligned with a current interest. Oh, interesting. It cannot be too interesting. Oh no. Have you tried, there's like, I forgot what it's called. There's like there's some podcasts that are really good at doing that. They're like these like whispery, like sleepy time podcasts that just describe stuff. It just picks a topic and then be like, did you know about this in this? Something factory. There's a few of those, I guess. Ternesh, you get used to hearing your neighbor's refrigerator sound at night. Now it's weird to sleep without it. Oh, isn't that weird? Nix, all you need to fall asleep is to snuggle a plushie. The more the merrier. That's fun. Rhiannon Journey, right now you're listening to the Dresden Files audiobooks for like the 10th time. That sounds good. That sounds good. Your partner can't stand being a worm at night. You get surrounded by dogs and an IKEA shark. Nice. Yeah, that's a hard pass for my partner. My partner's like, when we have dogs, they will not be on the bed. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how you're going to say no. I don't know how you're going to look into those sad, big eyes and be like, no, you're not allowed. But yeah, I overheat. I overheat in bed a lot too, so that actually is a problem for me. Yeah, I get it, Push Toy. What kind of stuff have you been working on, Push Toy? Kind of game dev stuff. So we're going to say input. We're going to say set mode from string. We're going to pass in the string. That's not amazing, but it's... Oh, I can get rid of this. Attractive selection. Put down mode. Oh, I can't just return a mode. I need to... So this is get mode from string. So I need to say input.get mode from a string, and what we'll do is we'll say input.selection mode equals input.get mode from string. All right. That's how we're going to make it happen. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Rhiannon, you come across videos like that on YouTube? You listen to some? Yeah, I'm trying to think of some. There's like maybe like the Memory Factory is one. I don't remember. Yeah, it says that's a video editing service in Miami. I don't know. Memory Palace? I think it may be the Memory Palace. The Memory Palace. It's a book. I thought there was a podcast. There is a podcast. I feel like there's ones that are even more like sleepy, like whispery. That one was a good one though. I think there's another one called like Sleep Whispers or something. Sleep Whispers podcast? There is. That one's a little too like ASMR, like whispery for me, but you're lucky to be we are all lucky to live in a time where access to knowledge about almost anything is easily accessible. Yeah. You may have just written 6 to 8 bars of tabs for a Bare Necessities tablature. Nice. Nice, Arneo. Yeah, I don't know what my approach is going to be. I haven't had to adapt like a popular piece of music pretty much ever. I don't know how hardcore I'm going to be. I mean, you have to have the melody line, which is the vocal line for sure. Sapphire, I guess you should get up and attempt to get something done. Why? Are you streaming tomorrow? Yeah, we're streaming tomorrow, just not Saturday. You were correct. That's exactly it, Sapphire. All right, I gotta keep an eye on the time. I do have a dentist appointment to go to. About 20 minutes. But we're still wrapping this up here. We're trying to set the selection mode. So we've got it set that where we can add, we've got it where we can make it. Okay, now I need to do it here. I need to do it here. So we'll begin a selection. Got begin selection. We need continue selection. I wonder if I want to pass the mode through. I could do it like in this function. I don't want to do it. We'll do it separately. I might combine some of these functions and do some overloading or something. We'll see. We will see. Let's go with a good enough for now attitude. I feel like your temperature conversion. Oh no, maybe you're right. Your radiator is crazy. Is it a crazy temperature? Nix. That's nuts. 50 to 60 C, 122 F to 140 F. Can we get that in Kelvin, please? All right, take it easy, Sapphire. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone here hanging out with us for episode 300. Tomorrow we begin our 4th century. Episode 301. We're going to read a list of things that occurred in the 4th century. BCE. I don't care what happened in AD. I'm a BCE kind of historical guy. It's really embarrassing because people are like, oh, Dave, you like history? Tell us about Bismarck or Charlemagne. I'm like, I cannot. I cannot. I'm more of a 5th and 4th century kind of guy. The 6th century is pretty interesting too. .323.15 to 333.15 Kelvin. Thanks, Nix. Kelvin is the official temperature standard for the channel. I don't know why. I forgot who kept giving us temperatures in Kelvin. I think maybe it was Rhiannon, but I don't remember. But it was too funny to me. All right. I don't know what I did. I don't know what we did today. We messed around with a bunch of stuff. If I start writing this out, will it work? Can I rebuild the C# project now? Failed to build. Is it failing to build because of these errors? These glaring errors here? Here. Okay, that part built. Oh my god. There we go. So we'll say begin selection. Oh no, so what we can do is we can say begin selection up here. And then we can just set a selection mode. So we can do this and we can say else. So here we'll say game dot set selection mode additive. Here we'll say game dot set selection mode subtractive. And then otherwise it's just going to be game dot set selection mode exclusive. What are you upset with me about? I mean, they're there. There's a bug somewhere. It's not building the project. Oh yeah, there is a bug somewhere. What's going on here? Block sculpting system. Oh, I never finished ripping this apart. Great. Okay. Let's just gut this real quick here. Just so we can build the project for a second. Still not happy with me. ARGs. Oh, there's some other stuff going on. Where do we have ARGs being mentioned? Oh, that's not that. You're kidding me. Redundant else keyword? What do you mean? What makes it redundant? All right, where's the other error? Build the project. Build succeeded. Okay. What's going on, Godot? Here. Oh, is begin selection not a thing for some reason? Oh no, now it's happy. All right, Godot. Godot is kind of annoying sometimes. It's like when you try to build the .NET project. It gets into a weird little circular argument with itself. All right, so we can do the same thing here with continue selection. Let's say if game dot state as string is edit, or I'm gonna see if we can use string names for this. I feel like as long as the string, yeah, I don't know actually. Like I can't pass string names in here. Whatever. I don't know where my ampersand is. Continue selection. So the thing that I'm not sure about is whether we want to support being able to change the selection mode during the selection. I don't think we can. Unless I do a lot more stuff to like keep track. I think we're just gonna say whatever the mode was when we started is what the mode is for the duration of the action. At least for this case. I have this problem where I'm like quite hungry, but going to the dentist, so it's not like I can eat lunch right now. Can I switch these to string names too? It should help with the comparison, I think. The bone doctor right next. My dentist is nice. Technicians are nice. They're closed on Wednesday, so I like to go on Thursday when they're like, you know, happy. Relatively. All right, let's run something, I guess. Well, I guess I should unblock this. I don't know if we're going to be leaving this in a playable state here. So what we can do here, we can say if next step is not equal to add, clear. Well, so we aren't going to support subtractive yet, but what we can do is we can say if game.selection mode, sorry, game.input.selection mode is not equal to game.input.mode dot. I don't love how much indirection that is, but I don't think it matters. Actually, do I need to say game? I should be able to just say input.mode because it's static, right? Yeah, it is. Input.mode.exclusive. Actually, if it is exclusive, we're going to clear it. And then we'll sort out the to-do. To-do. Add support for... That's ironic. Add support for subtractive selections. Active block tag becomes default. Anchor coordinates becomes this. Clipboard active becomes false. We set the cursor bounds. We set the prior bounds. Then we set the cursor bounds. We set the cursor bounds again for some reason. I don't know if I agree with this part, but Let's give it a try. During the last few minutes of the stream here. Crash. Oh, not yet. So if I build something and then I select something. Hey! Oh boy. Why are you adding... Huh. The hover needs to do something. We shouldn't be adding to the selection. Oh, you know what? You know what's maybe not happening? So we might not actually be terminating some stuff. I think we are, though. Let's double check. Are we changing the stage when we're done? Yeah, we are. Okay. I need to do that. But here. That might have been it. All right. Wow. First time. Nailed it. What if I engage the additive selection? Hey, look at that. Look at us just sniping these re-implementations of features that we already had working until I totally changed the input model. Low bar. Low bar. Oh, it's not resetting the palette tool. Okay. So I can't actually go back to making things. All right, well, that's a good first obvious bug to work on tomorrow for episode 301. The beginning of the 4th century of Digital Iliad. Nix, that is quite a story that you're regaling us with. We'll check out your story and then we'll wrap it up. A dentist story, because yes, I got to go to the dentist like right now. Thanks for the hydrate, Adagon. How's it going? Are you staying focused on features, or have you managed to get distracted? Oh, it was Hightail, right? Be safe. I feel like that's up to the dentist. Nix, you used to fear dentists due to having some really terrible ones when you were a kid. I've had some bad dentists. Most state-sponsored dentists back in Hungary were really old. Not care about what kind of butcher jobs they did. A lot of the old times when you were forced to go, the injection they gave you were A, diluted or not nearly enough. Went bad. Oh, expired or something. It's horrible. Fix all your problems. It would have cost $500,000 in Hungarian currency. For a lot of Hungarians, it's incredibly hard to save up enough money to do. Later on, you move to Germany. Let you tell me. The dentists there are literal angels comparatively. And it's free. Wow, it comes with your healthcare. Yeah, that's really nice. You fixed up all your problems over the course of 6 months. Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It makes a huge difference. You refuse to comment. You plead the 5th, Adagon? Which doesn't make sense for you. Let's see, what's a more agnostic way to say that? You refuse to incriminate yourself. You worked on the slime system a bit? Oh yeah, your slime system is cool. Yeah, I know you're making progress. I'm keeping an eye on the site development updates. I'm excited. I feel like March 6th is going to be here before we know it. It can be added to any Twitch channel now. Ooh. Huh. Tempting. I've been saying, I'm like, I don't have enough syncs. I don't have enough channel point syncs. So, yeah, maybe that's worth considering. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I got to go to the dentist. Arneo, teeth are like a design flaw. Yeah, it's definitely not the first. It's definitely not where you would arrive based on first principles. You know what I'm saying? Oh, half a mil of Hungarian currency is about 1,500 USD. Oh, that's crazy. That's still expensive. I couldn't afford a $1,500 dentist bill. But I have healthcare, thankfully. They don't even usually charge me until the end of the year when I run out of my maximum benefit. All right, I gotta go. I appreciate everyone hanging out here for episode 300. It was very nice. Can't believe it. Crazy. I appreciate you all. You make it possible. And yeah, I hope to see you again very soon for episode 301, which will be tomorrow. So until next time.
Maximum warp.
Bye. Maximum warp. Engage.